gonna probably be my last video. I'm gonna go turn myself in.
He's about to turn himself in, looking at life in prison.
So they just raided all my houses.
And the last name he says
They raided my houses and my property.
is Wack 100.
It was asking about Wack.
Blaming a man who turned street ties into influence.
Right, we've been to war. You know what a prison war is?
Who transitioned into managing one of the biggest artists in the world.
Wack had pulled up, and that's when I had pulled straps on them.
Hijacking live streams.
Everybody know me, bro. When I caught you in that alley.
Becoming social media's biggest gangbanging cap.
Wack, stop lying, nigga. Please stop lying.
This is the story of a man who conned his way to the top in a room where he didn't have the best resume, but those that did ended up in prison.
Wack said 100 times he was gonna take my contracts. He working with the FBI.
Playing the game of who told.
I ain't signed no statement. If you fucking tell, nigga, you gotta write a statement.
You give a statement.
So the real question was, what game was really being played and who was the one telling?
They say Wack 100 is the police.
I'm not the police.
They say you're the police.
Using everything as content and anything as cap.
You think it's okay for these guys to be on here and make up part of the story, that to make it juicy?
Even when some people weren't playing games at all.
Now, cap on that.
And that's on Pyru.
Oh, Pyru, hey, listen. Hold on. What's up?
This is the cap story of Wack 100.
You got cap in your raps. You got cap in your raps.
Every era of hip hop produces a new type artist, a new type executive, plug. Then there's a person who occupies all these spaces in between. One who's not easy to label, so he labels himself. Wack 100 is that figure, and for a long time that worked in his favor. On Pyru, nobody voted for him. Nobody appointed him. He just started showing up to rooms where decisions were being made.
Really, you've been up and down. You've been everywhere where the streets are concerned.
Yeah.
And eventually, people started asking him what he thought.
Right, we've been to war. You know what a prison war is?
That's actually a masterclass in positioning.
So everybody want to know what happened to that energy when it came to you revenging your manhood with that man.
And if this story ended there, I wouldn't be doing this video. After the Pacoima Pyru, Cash Jones, got released from prison, he went from the truck driving business to security to artist management. And his come up story ain't regular. The guy's got a particular way of moving.
Man, Wack could tell you, bro.
Oh my God.
Because
There's been a story floating around for years on how Cash became Jayceon's manager.
the fight in the mall, it never happened. I seen these dudes in the mall. I was with my kid. They said something, I said something, and I went my separate ways. And then after that, everybody saying gang got beat up in the mall and all
knocked
that.
unconscious, nothing.
Wack Ho No 100 told me he has the footage of Game knocked out at the Fox Hill Mall.
And that was prior to him becoming his manager, right?
Yeah, he expressed upon my suggestion that has helped him secure a spot.
Turns out the Game caught himself in an unfortunate situation that Wack had proof of. Then, voila. But if you ask Jayceon, he has his own story.
And then Snoop and Wack had pulled up, and that's when I had pulled straps on them because I didn't know what side they was on. And that's the day I met Wack.
You put the strap on Wack. That's
Wack,
the day you.
Yeah, I didn't know what was on. And then I ended up exchanging numbers with Wack. Wack came to the studio. I gave that like 10,000 on my pocket. It was like, you can fuck with me.
Whether you like it or not, Wack was in the conversation because of his run with the Game. Not because the Game was at his commercial peak at the time, but honestly because Wack was managing the chaos, which is basically a full-time job, a part-time therapy session, and occasionally a contact sport.
You'll beat your ass.
Who would?
Stitches will beat your ass.
Who was you talking about?
Stitches will beat your ass.
Who the fuck is
I
Stitches?
got 20,000.
I beat the brakes off of my. You got me fucked up.
Then came Clubhouse, and this is where Wack 100 became a different kind of monster.
Cool that you don't agree with what I'm saying, but Nick, I'm not no rapper. Nick. I will fuck you up, nigga. Yeah.
Now, Clubhouse at its peak was the most dangerous room in hip-hop. No editors, no publicists, no second takes, just people talking shit. He could shift narratives in real time.
No problem with you, Wack. I ain't
Go Pyru. I don't play with niggas like you. You don't play with me like that no more. And when I see you, don't act like you don't know why I ass out. I ain't gonna do no talking.
He just barked to the top of his lungs, and as long as you're familiar with his resume, you're supposed to believe him. and the nerds did. He understood the internet not as a tool, but as a weapon. Wow, some of his peers with even better resumes lacked the clout-chasing wherewithal that Wack had. On Pyru, he wasn't just talking. He was establishing jurisdiction, telling people who was real and who wasn't.
I think they trying to settle 4 extras up.
What do you mean by that?
But we can't skip his biggest gripe to date. Who is snitching?
I ain't signed no statement, nigga. If you fucking tell, nigga, you gotta write a statement.
You give a statement.
Yes, outside of a few, no one gathers more paperwork and tries to highlight who snitches more than Cash Jones.
Sapu Shaisi has shown his paperwork on his story.
I don't give a fuck about, I got his proffer that you're scared to post.
He filled in a slot others can't occupy, maintaining access to people in certain circumstances that you would have to be a specific type of person to even know. When it came to street authenticity, Wack checked all the boxes. Wack's name was all over the place. Hell, even Michael Jordan stopped him from catching a fade one time. But at some point, the decisions begin to change, along with everything else.
It's not my platform, it's Adam's platform, right? And the show itself.
Hey, listen. Hold on, don't.
What's up? What's up?
One of the first gangster gimmicks he would commit is managing 6ix9ine. This was more so a publicity stunt with Daniel Hernandez trying to humanize his image after taking down an entire blood operation that he willingly participated with himself.
If I ask you, why did you get those statements? Let me tell you what you're gonna say to me. You're gonna say, I heard recordings and they wasn't keeping it real and they violated first. And because they violated, I violated.
He wore rainbow hair and helped the government put people away. Every measurable sense of the code Wack had spent years claiming to uphold, 6ix9ine violated it completely. And what was Wack's response? 6ix9ine is a civilian. 6ix9ine was never in the gang. To snitch, you gotta have membership and I don't know, some shit like that.
Somebody told me 21 Savage was upset at me about doing this interview. 21, what's up, man? You got something you want to say to me? We always been all right.
This capathon began on Clubhouse, which he would use as an engine. And the optic of Wack 100, street credibility personified, sitting next to the most famous government witness in rap history, and then defending it on Clubhouse to 21 Savage and half of hip hop.
So what was you on the phone with him for 30 minutes about?
Nigga asking him why he talking the way he talking.
But nigga, if it's on, right?
Man, I'm not finna do all this fake gangster on Clubhouse.
What do you mean fake gangster?
I just told you how I felt. I ain't got nothing else to say.
21 Savage on that call was not angry. He was confused, genuinely trying to figure out if Wack actually believes what he was saying.
What we doing, nigga? I will sock you the fuck out. Yeah, you out your league, nigga. You's a fake ass blood too, nigga. I'm from California, nigga.
I ain't no blood.
Of course, eventually, 21 Savage himself would be later on called an informant.
Yeah. Let the blogs know. Wack 100 said 21 Savage, I think he's telling to try to keep his citizenship. Because what happened, my nigga? What happened to the citizenship case? It just went away.
Now, Wack wasn't thinking about the culture. He was thinking about what draws more clout. And that's the beginning of a specific type of blindness. This was only the beginning of a cap of chaos where he would claim to have paperwork on celebs from Jim Jones to Max B.
Well, I mean, you just mentioned Jim Jones. You accused him of snitching after the whole airport brawl?
Internet.
I got some more shit today on, what's the dude name? Max B. He ratted on him.
Not the wave god.
Since you're on topic, Wack 100 got a pizza face and he sucked his mother.
But the crack hadn't fully shown yet. Go back slightly. Before 6ix9ine, before Clubhouse dominance, there was the Nipsey Hussle moment. And this one matters more than people give it credit for at the time because this is where you can actually see what Wack was becoming. Nipsey Hussle was killed in March 2019. The entire culture goes quiet as a grief sets in.
He did not die an A-list artist. Let's fucking be real.
And in the middle of that grief, with the community barely able to process what just happened, Wack 100 decides it's time to have a discussion about whether Nipsey is a legend or not.
Y'all talking about he was a legend. If he was a legend, why y'all didn't treat him like that?
On Pyru, let that sit for a second.
People call Game a legend all the time. Dre a legend. Cube a legend. Eminem a legend.
A debate that surely could have waited to happen would be the jumpstart of years of shady moves on Wack's behalf. Next, this man would justify Nipsey's killing as just an instance of someone getting what was coming to him.
It's no shock. It's like everybody's like, oh, what happened? You know what happened a million times. Dude called him a snitch. He came back, he killed him. Well,
The community's response was swift. J-Rock, Nipsey's former bodyguard, found Wack at Rolling Loud and handled the situation the old-fashioned way. Yes, Wack eventually apologized, but apologies in his life have a very short shelf life, and this expiration date will come faster than most because the behavior didn't change. It just got repackaged. And here's what nobody was paying attention to underneath all of it. Wack doesn't operate on the code, he operates on leverage. Every controversy he generates becomes content. The Nipsey comments generated attention. The 6ix9ine management generated a check. The Clubhouse arguments generated audiences. None of these are accidents. They are products. There are no rules for Wack. At least that's how he acts.
Jay Prince, you know what it was in that alley.
But the cracks become breaks. Before we go too far in this video, hit that like button and apply pressure to that subscribe button.
And shout out to Jim Jones.
What's he doing?
Akademiks, or shall we say Akademiks, and others begin saying publicly what people were whispering privately. Wack's most active artist, Blueface, was getting robbed.
It's a conflict of interest. You know, I'm not going to get in their business, but
that Wack's percentage of Blueface earnings was structured in a way that made Blueface chaos work for Wack's wallet.
Blueface is signed to Wack 100 and managed by Wack 100.
Every time Blueface did something reckless, it generated content. Every time content generated attention, that attention was monetizable.
When you sign to a label, they take at least half already. Then you're getting managed by the guy who owns the label. He's still taking at least 20% of that too. You never get managed, or you don't have a management company owned by the people that also sign you.
Most of this information was known but not spoke on because of the respect of Cash Jones. The problem is that respect began to waver.
Yeah, I mean, what the f are you talking about? Like, listen, the Blueface get a $250,000 cash advance, right? From the label, right? And let's say I am the label, right? That's his $250. I don't get none of that.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Then I still got to go do everything else that got to get done for the project, right? Now, if I go book a tour.
Then came Tupac. When Keefe D was arrested in connection with Tupac Shakur's murder, Wack 100 did something that only Wack 100 would do. He offered to post bail over $100,000, 15% of a $750,000 bond for the man accused of orchestrating the murder of one of the most beloved figures in the history of the culture.
Wait, sir. You can answer my questions. I'm sure Mr. Arnold has questions for you. You can answer those.
The court saw through it immediately. Prosecutors argued it was a play to secure media rights.
So it's fair to say that you said you would bail Mr. Davis out as long as he follows some stipulations, correct?
A move to get an interview, a movie deal, a piece of a story worth far more than any bail money. The judge rejected it. Wack had the audacity to frame this as loyalty, as if bailing out the man connected to Tupac's death was somehow a service to the culture.
The money's still sitting over there with the bondsman. They're assuring me he's going to come home. You know, at the end of the day, then we're going to come home and we're going to do what we do. We're going to get back to business.
By this point, the people who knew the real landscape were no longer just watching, they were broadcasting. Because at this point, the only ones still defending Wack were the ones benefiting from him.
2008 when that phone call happened, okay? So now, through all that time, Blue had been getting called a rat, and now, you know, he's...
Jay Diggs had been checking Wack for years before most people knew who Jay Diggs was.
Diggs said, ask Blue, Jay Diggs. Who is Jay Diggs?
Miscommunication set it off early. The demand for a fade came next.
That's my question. Either we gonna get down or we not. All you gotta do is say we gonna get down or we not.
And then Wack crossed the line that you cannot uncross in this culture. He brought up Jay Diggs' mother in a Clubhouse session and let the insults fly.
So when I get to a point to where I think you clout chasing and you supposed to be from the streets, I'm gonna give you a lesson to where you'll never do it. So I told him his mama.
The response was a diss track, 3 Finger Wack, derived from a story told by Wack's side chick who who said he likes 3 fingers in certain places.
Oh, damn, one more finger. So I put the one more finger, and I'm like this. That nigga said, okay, and like I said, I'm like this, bro. That nigga said, now turn.
Humbly and peacefully, I want you to answer this question. Did you not call my phone humbly and peacefully?
You know, she linked with Wack, but she fell out with Wack. She put up a video of Wack being belly up, allegedly. And we don't know if it's Wack, really. Might be a stunt double. Now, there has some audio in it.
Humbly and peacefully, I want you to answer.
Wack, instead of de-escalating, went nuclear. Because of the Bay Area affiliation, Wack wouldn't waste a second going in on Mac Dre.
So how I supposed to know about a romper room?
No, they were American gangster.
Huh? Yeah, but robbing banks ain't gangsters. That's just robbing banks.
What the?
Being that Mac Dre is a Bay Area legend, this would not be overlooked by J Diggs.
I'll stop chasing you this way. I'll just find you when I find you.
But J Diggs wouldn't let up until he was forced to, getting locked up on a 4 to 10 year bid for a weed charge. And then Ayatollah Marv entered the building.
I got a public service announcement for the little old Wack. This is want to talk about Wack.
The OG Pyru dared Wack 100 to step in Compton after Cash told folks he took the stand on Suge Knight.
Yeah, but Marv is a rat. Marv took the stand and told him Bone had a gun. For real?
Marv represents something specific, a figure with documented history in the Compton and Pyru world who carries the kind of credibility that Wack has spent years trying to borrow.
You lie and you exaggerate and you stretch things.
In plain words, Marv spoke it how it is. Wack is all cap.
You didn't get on death row till 2003, and there wasn't even death row then. And matter of fact, none of the homies say they even put you on. Ma James didn't bring you around. You got brought around by the police.
He challenged Wack to prove slightly that he was the man he claimed to be. Wack began having scheduling conflicts.
I'm in the park. I'm in Gonzales Park. All the trips in Dubai and all the trips to Jamaica can't get you in the park. These young piranhas will eat your ass up.
Whatever you want to do, all you gonna do is die, nigga. Okay, that's what I'm doing. That's what happened if you do. That's all you gonna do is die. Okay, let's see. Where can we do this at? I tell you what. I'm gonna show you what this bag do. I'll holler at you. Okay.
But Cash Jones was in a slot he almost created for himself, catering to a suburban white audience who liked to hear these gangster-type tales, becoming a Daily Show-type correspondent for the Akademiks and Adam 22 No Jumper podcast, all the way up the ladder to Adin Ross.
Aiden, you talked a lot of commission crap to me.
He would use all these platforms to drive narratives of snitching, becoming a part of the cap media Akademiks made popular. And this is where things stopped sounding like rumors and started sounding like a pattern.
Dance. On the video, did another man in that woman's mouth and then Nipsey go kiss her? Yes or no?
We never seen any semen.
One of his biggest targets on Pyru would remain Nipsey.
Okay, cool. You didn't see any semen, but did that happen? This came out of mouth and Nipsey went there to go kiss him. Yes or no?
That definitely happened.
His Nipsey Hussle fiasco would somehow align him with Crip legend Big U, who always sought to be the most famous 60 and had in-house beef with Nipsey's All Money In clique for years.
Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos.
Big U had the proven resume Wack wanted, but lacked the social media presence.
But if you don't check it in,
oh well, it's gonna check your ass out.
We're gonna check you in, all right. We're gonna check in all of your equipment.
The two would become frenemies, which would lead to plays getting mixed up at times.
So me, Trick, and Big U was real close at the time, right? Hey, Future O brought some money. All right, Trick in Detroit. Me and Big U on a red-eye flight to Atlanta. We coming to LAX. We coming through the security, putting our bag through the thing. Who we see on the other side? Future and the girl that's with the football players. When we come to the thing, I say, hey homie, you got that money for Trick? He take off running. I'm chasing on the dead homies do the
No, what the fuck?
Nigga runs into a motherfucking terminal and he
This event would still to this day be deemed allegedly being that Future first denied ever meeting the two.
Okay, Trick want people to know about the Future in the airport if it happened. You get what I'm saying? Like, nigga, that's admitting to some bullshit. Like, nigga, what is you walking down for somebody else's money for? You know what I'm saying? Like, cuz that's supposed to be under the wraps.
Big U would also deny that this ever happened.
We ain't doing nothing. We looking for Future.
If Big U letting the Nipsey hate linger was intentional, who knows? But the internet OG gangbang crown could only go to one, so the two begin to butt heads.
Big U, bro. Big U is the biggest kind of snake you can find, bro. He act like he fuck with you, bro, but it all be for a motive.
Well, a recording leaked of Wack talking greasy about Big U, and that changed everything.
The nigga Nipsey died. Big U sends me the contract talking about help me go after the 30%. I say, bro, you wasn't going after 30% when he was alive.
Eventually, it got to the point they weren't on speaking terms.
This is the thing. When I look at the whole layout, it's probably only one person out of everything you've been seeing going on that I wish it could have been different.
Right.
And that's Big U.
I heard about the little CJ Mack and Dub C interview with that guy. I don't accept no apology from no nigga to disrespect my name, disrespect my family, and call me on my name. Come see me in my face.
You better know that Big U, he ain't got no more juice. Ain't nothing respecting him out here. He ain't never put in no work.
And this is when Wack began to troll Big U, facilitating stories of his in-house beef with Nipsey.
So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, sick, so I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey, and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone. So
you get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answered the phone.
Yeah.
And 30 minutes after you get off the phone with Nip.
And then the indictment came. Feds raided Big U's home and other locations.
To see what's going on, they talking about I'm a fugitive. So they just raided all my houses. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about Wack.
Before turning himself in, he mentioned one name in particular as a part of his last words before prison.
Wack said 100 times he was gonna take my contracts. He working with the FBI. The FBI went to the city 3 days in a row and told the city they didn't want nobody to give me no more money.
Claiming Cash Jones was an informant.
It's crazy. But I'm going to go turn myself in though.
Something that began to make sense. He flat out worked with 6ix9ine, hip-hop's most popular rap. He claimed to have notified Big U hours before the raid.
I think you tipping off Big U. You should only know this if you're doing the investigation. I think that definitely happened.
I did what?
And I thought he was capping.
How many times have I capped?
They say Wack 100 is the police.
How am I the police?
They say you're the police.
Because I know a lot.
But then, he would shock the sector when flipping through his wallet, the most ironic moment occurred. A badge.
Wacko that told him that though. Because nigga statement in the his statement there, nigga. Wack.
He would get scorched online, starting to be known as a Cat King. He would attempt to calm everyone down by revealing it was a fake badge.
Y'all thought you had me. We got him. Y'all got to be goofy. Let me tell you something. See the wear on this? The wear? Been in my back pocket for a while. Guys, you want 2 more glasses of wine?
Whether you believe Wack's badge is cap or not, it symbolizes a litany of events involving a man with a few enemies he pointed fingers at, looking at heavy time. So even if he wasn't an informant, his story would sound the same.
Yo, Wack, what's up with the screenshot that Traplo Ross sent me of you begging Big U not to kill you?
That's cap. That's AI. That ain't me.
It's in the indictment.
But the real showing of a loss of power was coming. In a war, Wack was used to winning. One thing about these managers who are taking way more money than they're supposed to from their artists, they definitely not liking someone else trying to come and take extra money from their artists. This might have been the case when Blueface will reportedly get denied his back-end pay after losing in a 6-round fight in a league ran by Adin Ross called Brand Risk.
Can we get you back in here, bro? Can we see you back in Brand Risk?
Hey, you know, you ain't gonna lose your own money on your own fight card.
Blueface was far from happy and felt foul play.
If you do get back on Brandis, do you want a rematch or who do you want to fight?
I probably won't get back on Brandis because you tampering with the bets.
Never that. Never that. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, not only would Adin win off his personal bet, he would decide not to pay Blueface, who was the main draw in the first place.
Getting the rigging, all that stuff. Now listen, chat, is it illegal that I bet Akademiks on a sanctioned Florida event? No.
Adin, being one Wack has protected against blacks many times, would presume to be an easy one for the Pacoima Pyru to check.
Yo, this dude named Glasses Loke and Trap Bradshaw, they're threatening me.
Glasses? No, I know them dudes, bro. Glasses Malone is who he is. I'll call nephew right now.
All right, Wack. Thanks, bro.
But this time, Wack only had himself fooled.
If I'm rain bet, I'm not paying them a dime, to be honest. Just being honest. I mean, why would you? It's breach, it's leaks, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, why would I? If you were a rain bet situation.
Let me tell you why would you, Adin?
Sure.
You say you my friend, right?
Yes.
What that's worth? Because I didn't hesitate for you.
But after listening to this, who knows? Maybe it's just another play.
Yo, Wack, let me call you when I'm done streaming. All right, baby, you look so hot the way you're laid over like that.
Hey, bro,
I'm sorry.
The truth about Adin Ross in the boxing match, right? And his sexual advances at people.
He thinks that this could be used again. Like, Wack, are you fucking retarded? He's old. How old is Wack 100? Oh, he's 50. Okay. Because, dude, I had...
But on Pyru, if everything is content, then nothing is real, including him. But Wack is far from the only one that excels at this, because once you see it here, you start seeing it everywhere. Thank you for watching. If you really want to support this channel, please subscribe to my Patreon. I have exclusive videos over there and all of these cap stories, unfiltered, uncut, raw. Also, add me on Twitter, IG, and TikTok. You never know if something were to happen to my page. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxy Approved, right? With that water. I'll see y'all here next time on Moxy Approved.